back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Cameron. I'm a licensed esthetician, licensed aesthetics instructor, and the owner of Lash Queen Beauty Company, an aesthetics and lash retailer in Greensboro, North Carolina. Today, I've got another career opportunities and history of aesthetics. So if you've been following my channel for a while, I've been doing theory, and I decided to launch a theory. It's pretty much going to be all of the chapters that you cover in the Milady Esthetics curriculum so that you are better prepared for when you decide to go to aesthetic school. I want to be very clear that this is not a replacement for aesthetic school, but hopefully it will help you to study better, understand material better, because you've already seen it. I do also plan to have some opportunities for any of my subscribers. If you'd like to take a test out of these chapters, you can, so that you can better prepare yourself for your upcoming, aesthetics session. Or if you're currently in aesthetic school, this is a great opportunity for you to follow along your curriculum. And like I said, I do have different versions of the Milady Aesthetics test by chapter. So I am happy to give you a chance to take the test, and I will rate it as an instructor and let you know how you're doing. So again, welcome, and let's go ahead and get started. So for starters, this is chapter 1 of the Milady Esthetics curriculum, career opportunities and the history of aesthetics. What we're going to be covering in this, one, our learning objectives. So you're going to know, explain how career opportunities and the history of profession are critical to aesthetics, describe the career options available to estheticians, list types of existing aesthetics practices to help chart your career path, outline skincare practices from early cultures, summarize the current and future states of the aesthetics industry. So I just want to talk a little bit here. So each of you, if you're in school, will come here with a slightly different story and slightly different expectations. But one thing I can tell you is that you will each leave with a great sense of accomplishment at completing your course and graduating. I believe that, like myself and so many others, you will work hard and learn much, but you will never be sorry that you chose aesthetics for your profession. I would like to take a couple minutes to share with you of my own journey. So I chose aesthetics. Actually, my mom actually pushed me into aesthetics. I'm gonna give her all the credit because I was interested in lashes, and I wanted to go into aesthetics and possibly work for Ulta Beauty as a brow girl. But my mom really pushed me into becoming my own Ulta Beauty and launching Lash Queen, which I've launched today. Um, Aesthetics has been so rewarding. Prior to going to aesthetic school, I was actually a bartender at a country club, and I hated it there. Um, After getting into aesthetics, my life completely changed. I went from a broke college student to actually being able to travel and do the things that I wanted to do. And I have to give it all to aesthetics and my lash business. It is a rewarding career. I want to thank the coaches, the mentors, everyone that has helped me along the way to getting to where I am. And as an instructor now, it is my duty to pass the torch to other aspiring and future estheticians, so that you can eventually grow your own career and find your own path in this lovely industry, because there's so many opportunities for you to grow as an esthetician in this field. So let's jump into career opportunities and overall history of aesthetics. And I'm sorry, you guys, I have pimple patches on because I'm having a little bit of minor breakouts. So just ignore. All right. So explain how career opportunities and the history of the profession are critical to aesthetics. I hope you're following along with me and your Milady Aesthetics textbook, so that you can kind of match exactly where we're going so far. So, learn opportunities to plan your career, historical perspective. So estheticians should study and have a thorough understanding of the career opportunities and history of aesthetics because, one, you can learn about the many and diverse career opportunities to begin planning for your career. So there's so many different things you can do in aesthetics. This chapter is going to cover in bulk what exactly is offered in our field. It is good to have a historical perspective on where we have been to know how far we have come. So you have to know the history of aesthetics to know where it is going. Materials used in early beauty preparations may have been instrumental in determining how materials are used today. And lastly, you will have a better understanding of how culture can shape product development and how it can bring about the necessity for change. All right, let's talk about the career options available to licensed estheticians. So, learning about the multiple career opportunities that are available will enable you to expand upon your own career. Aesthetics is from the Greek word aesthetikos. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a Greek word. Aesthetikos, meaning perceptible to the senses, is a branch of anatomical science that deals with the overall health and well being of the skin and the largest organ of the body. An esthetician is a person devoted to or professionally occupied with the health and beauty of the skin. Your esthetician's role is to provide preventative care for the skin, offer treatments to keep the skin healthy and attractive, manufacture, sell, or apply cosmetics, and detect skin problems that may require medical attention. Quick note, unless an esthetician is also in addition to, you have your esthetician license and you also have a dermatology license. Unless an esthetician is also a licensed dermatologist, physician, or physician's assistant, they cannot prescribe medications, make a diagnosis, or provide medical treatments. So this is very strict across the board. You cannot, as an esthetician, even if you think a client has a skin condition, it is not our job to diagnose them. Anytime you think you have a client that might have a skin condition, you want to refer them to a licensed dermatologist, so that a dermatologist can further examine them. It is not our job as estheticians to prescribe medications, make a diagnosis, or provide medical treatments, okay? So the different career options available to licensed estheticians, starting off strong, you've got the salon or day spa esthetician, skincare specialists and consultants. They can work in full service salons, skincare salons, or day spas. They may be independent businesses or national chains, and they may operate within hotels or department stores. So think Massage Envy, Balance Day Spa, they also can work their way up to management and supervisory positions. They may decide to open their own salon or buy established businesses or franchises. Um, so they can perform facials and facial massage, waxing, body treatments, manual and with the aid of machines, and also providing makeup services. May also do laundry, confirm appointments, make follow-up calls, keep records of services and products, and sell products and services. So a lot of estheticians do fall into that category, whether they go into a salon like Balance Day Spa or Massage Envy, or they decide to be their own estheticians. Like myself, I'm still considered a day spa esthetician or salon esthetician, rather. I'm still considered a salon esthetician because I do operate independently in my own space, and I do provide facials, makeup services, brow services, and lash services. Then we've got our clinical esthetician. So this involves the integration of surgical procedures and aesthetic treatments. Esthetician assists with aesthetic treatments. Contact your state board to find out the rules and regulations for estheticians working in a medical setting. It may include outpatient clinics, dermatology clinics, medical spas, laser clinics, dental offices, or research and teaching hospitals. So those med spas, especially, those are considered clinical esthetician. I have heard the term medical esthetician, but I'm gonna be honest, a lot of state board agencies do not recognize medical estheticians, so I don't normally say that. Clinical estheticians are recognized though. Excuse me, provide patient education, marketing, buying and selling products, applying camouflage makeup, and with a physician's supervision, performing advanced treatments, may manage cosmetic surgery office or act as a patient coordinator, and they can also be certified nursing assistants, licensed practical nurses, or registered nurses. So if you see, I've also been seeing a lot of RNs, registered nurses, becoming estheticians so that they become estheticians or esthetician nurses, where they are clinical estheticians that also have a nursing background that work in dermatology office, med spas, things like that. So the more credentials that you get, you'll typically fall into some of these categories. If you are looking to lean more towards the medical side of aesthetics, I would say look into clinical aesthetics. If you are more so like me and you're really interested in like brows, lashes, makeup, that kind of side of aesthetics, day spa or salon esthetician would be better for you. Then we've got our waxing specialists and our brow specialists. So waxing specialists remove hair from the face and or body with the use of threading, sugaring, and tweezing, but mainly using hard or soft wax. Brow specialists specialize in brow shaping by the means of waxing, tweezing, and other extraction methods, may work in corporate owned or privately owned waxing salons. Brow specialists are hired by salons and makeup companies. They're usually skilled in removing all face and body hair, entering phones, performing infection control duties. A minimum of 1 year at retail sales may be required. So for your waxing specialists, think European Wax Center, think Waxing the City. You also have some solo independent wax professionals. Those will be considered wax specialists. And then, of course, the brow specialists, those are just people who specialize in brows, but they are still licensed estheticians. All right, then you've got makeup artists. So they must develop a keen eye for color and color coordination, may offer facials and facial massage. Makeup artists in salon spas and department stores work for an hourly wage, commission, salary, or various combination. Vast opportunities for growth. They can work in a salon setting or can freelance. They can work with photographers, television, theater, fashion, camouflage, makeup, or mortuary science, and more. They are typically skilled in makeup techniques and application. They retail skills to recommend makeup products and colors, staying informed on the latest trends, being efficient and creative. So let's say you're interested in getting into makeup. You don't necessarily want to jump out on your own because you're fresh out of school. Sephora, Ulta, those are the type of places where you kind of want to align yourself in because they already have the type of clients that are coming in the door for those services. So a lot of the times they do have makeup artists on staff, or they have licensed brow specialists that works the Benefit Brow Bar side of Ulta, or at Sephora, they also do brow waxes as well. So if you're interested in getting into those kinds of specialties and aesthetics, I would definitely recommend Ulta or Sephora for makeup artistry. For waxing specialists, I would recommend a Waxing the City or a European Wax Center so that you can really get those skills down before jumping into being a solo or a salon esthetician on your own. Then we also have a manufacturer's representative. So these are responsible for selling products and training estheticians and other staff members on how to properly use products as well as how to retail and merchandise. They work for product companies. Advancement is available within the product company. They could become regional managers or move up to other divisions. They usually call on spas, salons, drugstores, department stores, and specialty businesses to help build a clientele and increase product sales, traveling and exhibiting products at trade shows and conventions. And they also must know the product line to educate customer on benefits and use. So think of the person that comes to visit your school. I know SkinScript has most of the esthetician brands have them, but SkinScript, especially Dermalogica, Black Coral Wax, the brands usually have a manufacturer representative, and they typically hire an esthetician, someone who has already been in the field, someone who's worked with the product to go out to these schools and educate and convince the students to purchase product from them. And a lot of the times, if they catch the student early on, it's more likely that the student will use that product for the rest of their career as an esthetician. So manufacturers representatives are huge in the industry, and we definitely need them as well. Next, we have our salesperson or sales manager. They're responsible for the sales of the products sold within the salon or store. They work at salons, spas, department stores, boutiques, and specialty businesses. They can work your way up to top management positions and possibly ownership. They keep records of sales, stock, demonstrating products, selling to clients, cashiering, understanding products, and being able to explain benefits and cross-selling services and treatments. Then you have your cosmetic buyer. So they purchase the products that are sold within a retail setting. They work in department stores, salons, and specialty businesses. There's always room for growth, such as moving up to store manager or regional managers. Their task is typically to keep up with the latest products, being able to recognize and anticipate trends in skincare, travel frequently to visit markets, trade shows, and manufacturer showrooms to learn about potential products, keeping records of purchases and sales, and estimating amount of stock needed for a particular period of time. Then you have the aesthetics writer or beauty editor. Sometimes I like to think of myself as that because I do have a blog. So they write articles, blogs, or posts for magazines, newspapers, online magazines, or publishing companies. They can be freelance contributors or may hold permanent positions at newspapers, magazines, education, and technology companies, or publishers. They can manage a team of contributors and content creators or become permanent writers for a marketing firm or a publisher. Some writers are even more into the role of editor. So typically, their responsibilities include writing intriguing articles or posts, proofreading and verifying references, strong communication, research and writing skills, having social media presence, well immersed in industry trends, skincare topics, and beauty related research. Then we've got the travel industry. They perform aesthetic services within the travel industry. You can work for cruise ships, at airports, for private airline companies, or destination spas. They can advance into a skincare or cosmetic store manager, or general manager, or regional manager positions. I've always thought about working on a cruise ship. I think that's really cool, especially if you want to travel as an SD. Cruise ships, airports, private hotels. Perfect. Then we have educator. So that would be me. I am a licensed educator with the state board. So I do teach at beauty schools. I do continue education, all of that. But we need educators because they teach the theory and technical application of aesthetics. They can teach in a public, vocational, industrial, or technical high school. You can also teach at community colleges. With necessary certification, private cosmetology and aesthetic schools are also an option. They can become part of many associations to develop career and can advance within the school where they are teaching by becoming a team leader, department director, or school director. Taking basic teacher training courses, developing lesson plans, curriculum, worksheets, tests, and other supplements, executing topics in a clear and concise manner, and being able to demonstrate practical tasks that estheticians perform. We've also got our cosmetic chemistry and product development. So these people are typically interested in cosmetic chemistry and ingredients. So you're interested in what is in the product. They create new products and develop new technologies, work at skincare product companies. They can also take classes on cosmetic chemistry offered through universities and other community and vocational colleges to advance their careers. Involved in all phases of development, from ideation to final new products, having understanding of industry, attending trade shows to stay up to date on ingredients. They have to understand how ingredients are beneficial and how they work together. So they are real deal chemists. So if you're interested in like the science behind skincare, why do products work, product development as an entirety, you might want to be check out cosmetic chemistry and product development. Then we also have our state licensing inspector or examiner. So they work in government buildings and state board offices. The experience required varies state by state, but staying current on latest laws, regulations, and trends is important for job development. Inspectors could extend their job outreach by obtaining dual licenses. So inspectors are typically the people who conduct regular salon and spa inspections to ensure state rules and regulations are being followed. State examiners prepare and conduct examinations, enforce rules and regulations, investigate complaints, and conduct hearings. I'm also going to be doing a separate video on that as far as getting your salon suite ready for a state board inspection. So be on the lookout for that. Then we have the state board members, so highly qualified and experienced estheticians that support and help to develop the content for the laws and rules for licensed professionals. They work in government buildings and state board offices. They can become state inspectors or work for the state government. These people typically assist in developing our state regulatory laws and rules that will protect the public, listen to and rule over issues, be prepared to conduct examinations, grant licenses, and inspect schools, make sure educational materials meet certain specifications. Then you have our oncology trained esthetician. So it's a specialized career that helps clients who have cancer. These estheticians ease the discomfort of the damaged skin from chemotherapy or radiation while enhancing clients' quality of life. Many opportunities are created in spa and medical settings. They can also work alongside or receive referrals from oncologists, radiologists, hospitals, wellness centers, and cancer centers. This is a relatively new position and has expanded quickly based on need. Best preparation is training with an experienced instructor who offers hands-on work with real patients. Volunteering with the American Cancer Society's Look Good, Feel Better program is also another option. For those type of estheticians, you're going to have to know how and when to modify spa services for the safety of the client during all phases of cancer treatments. Last thing we talked about was oncology aesthetics. So those are people who specialize in the study of cancer as it relates to aesthetics. All right, so every time I do one of these, you're going to have check-in questions. I want to go ahead and get you ready for them because you're going to have them in school. You probably will have to turn them in for a grade. So your first check-in question: what career options are available to estheticians in salons and day spas? Pause this video, see if you can answer it on your own. If you can't, it's okay. This is what this is for, okay? So that you are better prepared for when you enter into the classroom. If you didn't get the answer should have been esthetician, consultant, owner, manager, skincare specialist, makeup artist, wax specialist, cosmetics buyer, or oncology trained esthetician. Next one, what is clinical aesthetics? In what ways can estheticians practice their skills in a medical setting? Again, go ahead and pause this video so you can answer the question yourself. Answer to this one is going to be clinical aesthetics involves the integration of surgical procedures and aesthetic treatments. The esthetician can assist a physician and provide patients with an array of procedures. Each state board will have its own rules and regulations for estheticians working in a medical setting. And number 3, list the different environments in which makeup artists can be employed. Go ahead and pause this video if you haven't already answered. Answer to number 3 is going to be salons, spas, commercial photography, television, theater, fashion shows, camouflage therapy, and mortuary science, which is working with the deceased. Number 4, what are the duties of a manufacturer's representative? Pause this video if you haven't already and go ahead and answer that. Manufacturers' representatives are responsible for selling products and training estheticians and other staff members on how to properly use those products, as well as how to retail and merchandise. And your last question, discuss employment options open to an aesthetics educator. And the answer to that is going to be teaching can be done in a public, vocational, industrial, or technical high school with the necessary certification. Private cosmetology and aesthetic schools are also an option. So with these check-in questions, really with this whole curriculum in general, you have to read your book, okay? Please read your textbook. Do not rely on just your teacher. Even don't rely on just this presentation alone to get you through aesthetics, because it's absolutely not. Read your textbook. Follow up with your educator on any questions that you have. Be present in the classroom. Ask questions. Because what I see a lot of times with previous aesthetic students is that they don't pay attention to theory. They don't read their textbook, but they still expect to pass their state board exam. They're always in for a rude awakening. Pay attention from the very beginning. Aesthetics is a building block. Every chapter that you go, you're going to be building on what you've already learned. So take it as surface value and read the book thoroughly to better answer your check-in questions, okay? And to score better on your test. All right, let's keep going. I'm actually thinking about making this into a 2-part video, simply because it's a long lesson, and I know it can get a little, we can lose a little touch, lose a little bit of, paying attention, and that's okay. I get it. I've been there. So I'll probably wrap this one up soon, and then part 2 will be the other half of the lesson. All right, now we're going to talk about the types of existing aesthetics practices to help chart your career path. So start to create your own plan of action early. You may enter the field with the dream of working in a particular setting. Before you decide on the setting that is best for you, take time to research and visit a variety of operations. So this is why I love field trips. I love taking my students on field trips. When I was an aesthetics teacher in a school, I would love taking my students on field trips because it gives them opportunity for them to see what the day-to-day life of an esthetician looks like. So you have the franchise salon or spa. It's owned by individuals who pay a certain fee to use a company name. They are typically part of a larger organization or a chain of salons. They operate according to a specified business plan and set of protocols. They offer certain corporate advantages like national marketing campaigns and employee benefits packages. And then they also have important decisions like size, location, decor, and services are dictated by the parent company, okay? So they don't really make any decisions. They just use the name of the company that they're using, basically. Then you have independently owned skincare clinics and day spas. So the owner has greater freedom and control in decision making. Benefits may be fewer. However, this does not mean income is inadequate. Good fit for practitioners who prefer more intimate setting and like to work closely with smaller group of practitioners, and a greater opportunity to build long-lasting relationships with clientele. In my experience between an independently owned skincare clinic and a franchise salon or spa, at the franchise salon or spa, now I'm not gonna lie and say these places are not both about making money and their bottom line, But independently owned skincare clinics and day spas, they are more likely to invest in you as an esthetician because they want you to grow in their facility. So they're more likely to invest in you getting a better training and and spending that extra time with you to learn their facial protocols. Whereas the franchise salon and spa, we want you to get in and we want you to learn it. Take this workbook home and you need to learn it by the end of next week. Versus an independently owned chain, they might sit down with you. Okay, this is step one of the facial. This is how we like to take it because it's more intimate. It's an independently owned, so it's more intimate. They are truly building their clientele from the ground up, unlike these franchises that kind of already have that name. And so a lot of clients are, in their head, they're thinking, well, I'm going to Balance Day Spa because I've already heard of it. It's in so many cities, or Woodhouse Spa, it's in so many cities, so I'm going to go there. Versus, Amanda's Day Spa, where Amanda really knows her clients. She focuses on each client's skin and makes protocols per for that client's skin type for what exactly that client might need. Versus at Balance Day Spa, everybody with dry skin gets this protocol, if you get what I'm saying. So I do like to take my students to both just so they can see and make their own decisions of where they want to be. You also have the full service salon or day spa. It's a fast paced hub of activity, appealing to those who appreciate full spectrum of beauty. And it's an opportunity to become part of a larger team of network. So if you want to be somewhere where they offer everything, brows, lashes, waxing, the whole nine, eyelash extensions, everything, a full service salon might be where you should go. Resort or destination spa. So that's associated with the hotel facility. It's a right fit for those who like to work with constantly changing clientele because you're not going to have the same clients, obviously, at a resort or at a cruise. May include more corporate style benefits and educational opportunities. And then we have the medical spa or wellness center. Those are great for those who are more focused on health benefits or age management aspect of skincare. So if you're really into aging skin, or if you're really into oncology aesthetics, or if you're just into the medicinal side of aesthetics and beauty, you're more than likely going to gravitate to a medical spa or a wellness center to practice aesthetics at. All right, let's wrap it up here. Outline skincare practices from early culture. So I'm going to end this video here with this next slide. And then in your part two, you can go finish watching the rest of the lesson. If you like, you can send me an email and I'm happy to send you a exam for you to take. And I will grade it within 48 hours and you can see for yourself where you are in this chapter. So, early cultures to modern day skincare practices. Much of today's skin and body care therapies are rooted in the practices and attempts of earlier civilizations to ward off disease in order to live healthier and longer lives. In ancient Egypt, they used cosmetics for personal beautification, religious ceremonies, and in preparation for deceased for the dead. One of the earliest uses of henna, a dye obtained from the mignonette tree, was as a reddish hair dye and as a temporary tattoo, as well as for body art and on fingernails. And as we know today, we use henna for eyebrows, we use it for hand henna painting, all types of stuff. We've got ancient Greeks. Ancient Greece with cosmetics and cosmetology come from the Greek word cosmetikos, meaning skilled in the use of cosmetics. Greece, cosmetics and cosmetology come from the Greek word cosmetikos, meaning skilled in the use of cosmetics. Greeks bathed in olive oil and dusted their bodies with fine sand to regulate their body temperature and for sun protection. They use honey and olive oil for elemental protection as well. So sunscreen exfoliation stems from ancient Greece. Then we also have ancient Rome, famous for their bathhouses, which were in magnificent public buildings. Steam therapy, body scrubs, massage, and other physical therapies were available in bathhouses. Bathing and grooming rituals included applying rich oils and fragrances made from flowers, saffron, almonds, and other ingredients. And we still have bathhouses to this day. So, really great things that come from early cultures to modern day skincare practices that we still use to this day. All right, I'm going to stop here. If you'd like, follow me to part two of this lesson so that you can get the full lesson and take the test at the end. Or if you want to call it a night here and say, okay, I'm done, I'll take that too. All in all, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.